welcome guys to the Cult podcast episode 9. And today we have like kind of this kind of like the first time we like actually interview someone in the morning, because I think over there it's like 6 or like 7 p.m.
Yeah,
right now.
7 p.m. right now. Yes,
Yeah.
7 p.m.
And what time is zone is that? Like do you live?
I live in Austria, next to Germany.
Mm.
So I actually speak German. So I hope my English is not that bad.
That's good. So like today we have like a Khamis, or that's how you say it, right? Khamis,
Khamis, just Khamis.
Khamis.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I actually decided to have you on the show because you're actually one of the few producers who was on a Naughty Step video, like right?
Yeah. I was like subscribed to his Patreon tier 4, and he was like asking for producers' songs to cover up in his newest video. And I submitted one of my IDs, and he picked it luckily. So I got lucky to be the first person in his video.
And did you kind of expect that to one of your tracks be picked, or was it like, oh
Well,
shit?
I expected him to pick my track because I think I was his first tier 4 Patreon, but I didn't expect him to be the first person in his video. But yeah, that was really good because on that day, or let's say because I was in his video, my SoundCloud page got a lot of attention. I had like 1K plays in one day, and my usual average was like 50 plays at max. I got so many new followers because of this. And yeah, it kept me motivated to produce more music actually. So I'm glad that it happened.
So how many followers did you think you have before this Naughty Step showcase thing?
I can't really remember because 2021 has been really wild for me actually. Like I've already doubled my followers since the year started. So I guess it was the video I think was 3 or 4 weeks before that. So I guess I was around at 200 something followers, 270 maybe, and now I'm at 340 something. But yeah, because of his video, some producers and labels actually DM'd me and stuff like this, so it definitely helped.
I can then see you released on some labels, or I guess compilations on
Um,
on the OWTR collector, right?
WTR. What do you mean exactly?
It's it was a track called it's called Absorption. It was in last
Yes,
year.
you mean Outer Records. Yeah, yeah. Um, I think this was in around this time in 2020 actually. Yeah, it wasn't my first label release actually. I think my first release was with Horizontal, a collaboration called Ungodly on how was it called again? I think it was Blacklight Audio. But yeah, pretty Horizontal pretty much managed everything because I didn't even have like 100 followers back then, and he was well, he was kind of big actually at this time. He had like his own hype. But yeah, I didn't release anything else on labels except on I'm so bad with remembering stuff, but I had like another melodic rhythm song called Crystal Shard on, let me check, on Cyber Audio in summer or autumn 2020. But I haven't had any more label releases back in this in 2020. But there will be actually a lot of label releases in 2021. I got a lot of like deals and stuff like this on some pretty cool labels coming up. The ideas I sent you, Stutter, for example, and Cloud Shanties will be released on two very cool labels. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say the label's name, so I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah,
But there will be a lot
fine.
of label releases in 2021 for me.
And so I guess you're pretty excited for this year, huh?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was so like actually when all this happened, all this stuff, all of these label deals were like they all happened within a period of 3 weeks. So much happened at the same time, and I was so motivated to make more music. Like because of that, I also got tired of making music, and I have been taking a break for like the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I see you also have this. I guess throughout your songs you have this kind of like I guess this sort of melody, melodic instrumentation with or
Yeah.
yeah, with I think like an organ and then the this specific piano. And I was kind of wondering like what was that? Is there any influences to that?
Well, I actually in this song there was like, do you know Labs, the um, sound library? Labs, Labs.
Perhaps no.
Well, someone showed it to me. It is a free sound library, and it's actually pretty good. And I was like just looking through some of these instruments, and I don't even know honestly what it is, but it sounds like a cool layer. But the rest of the song, basically here, is all self-made in Vital and Serum, and there is a very small piano section right before the drop, but that's it, just like for layering purposes.
I've seen you like you were like you're taking the feedback sessions with non-stop, right?
Ah yes, he gives feedback sessions every 3 months once. So I had mine 2 weeks ago, I believe, and he even posted it onto his social media and stuff. Like we went through some of my IDs. Um, One of them actually I sent you today, Cloud Shanties, and he was like giving in-depth feedback, kind of interviewing me too, like
Well,
asking me some questions about my music and stuff like that. So it was pretty chill. It also kind of helped me. I've still noted what he um, told me to slightly improve the song, but I haven't had time to do it or the motivation to do it yet. But yeah, nonetheless, it was quite helpful, and I'm happy to hop on to the next session with him in in the next few months. I don't know. Well, the thing is, even if the time would, like he said, every 3 months once, and even if he offered me to do one again, um, I actually need to make more music because he heard everything what I got so far. And yeah, I guess it depends on how much music I make until then.
yeah. And like, do you think like you're improving as a producer?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of hard to answer because when you constantly make music, you feel like you don't improve at all. But when you take a longer break, make new music, and reflect on your older stuff, you definitely can hear um, if you have improved and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say I had like one of my heights in 2020 in like um, from April to June. Then I was like stuck on some kind of plateau, and then um, during the end of 2020 and during January, when all the crazy stuff with the labels and shit started happening, I was making so much music and discovering new techniques and stuff like that. So I guess I improved actually a lot during that time. I also I started talking to Margwa. I don't know if you know him, but he has been around for quite a few years. He was called Chewbacca back then, a riddim producer. And yeah, he commented on a few of my tracks and followed me and stuff, and he liked my work. So I decided to just tell him hi on Instagram, and I was like, thank you for the support and stuff like this. And then we got into talking and actually made a collaboration, which will also be released sometime this year, I hope, on a pretty cool label. But yeah, because of Margwa, he also showed me some cool techniques and stuff like that, and showed me more sub-bass techniques and general how to improve my mix down, which also helped me a lot. So the more people you know as a producer, the more producers you know as a producer, the easier it is to improve because you have like more you can ask more people about more producing related questions, and they will also often help you with that. So the more people you know, the better.
You also have like there are also people who also know about DJing. Kind of teaching. I have a friend who's kind of. I mean, and I don't really like his music style, but I do like his kind of his educational. His passion for educating people on DJing, because he's kind of a more knows how to does pioneer, or knows about pioneer CDJs, and knows about how to mix well. So
he's more kind of a DJ than a producer.
Yeah.
And that's pretty rare, actually. I think nowadays, most people are like producers, and if you are famous enough as a producer, then you starting to get offers as a DJ. I don't think it is really easy to become a DJ if you don't make music on your own nowadays.
Yeah, I think like climate has kind of has changed, I guess. For nowadays it's
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But I, for example, I don't even know how to DJ. I never tried it. I never played a show. I wanted to learn it, but I was like, I really don't want to waste my money on some CDJs. I have some friends in Germany who are able to DJ, and well, I wanted to visit them and try stuff out with them, and maybe they could teach me some stuff. But yeah, it's Corona time, and that's also not possible at the moment.
Sure.
Well, it technically is possible to visit them, but it would be stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then yeah, there's still like virtual DJ sets people do. So
Yeah, but I think this is not the same, or probably even harder than using a real DJ set, because imagine using or trying to DJ with a mouse and keyboard. That would be absolutely fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I think I just need these the whole controllers and stuff like that. I don't think it would be possible to do this if you don't have the controllers.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the Khamis alias name?
Well, a few years ago, many years ago actually, I was like watching these AMV anime music videos back when I got into brostep and dubstep, when Skrillex started getting popular. I don't know if you know Hellsing. It's some kind of Hellsing, yes, a splatter anime. And yeah, I tended to watch a lot of anime music videos from this anime. And there was like one channel that literally was like Khamis or Khamis with some numbers behind it, and I was like, yeah, this name sounds pretty cool, and I remembered it, and yeah, I just forgot about the name, and then a few years later, I started making music in 2018 in March, and I was like, damn, I kind of need some kind of name, and well, I was looking at other producer names, and then I remembered Khamis from this one YouTube channel, and I was like, this kind of looks like a basic riddim producer name, so I just went for it. And yeah, but a few months after that, I noticed that this is actually, I think, an Arabic name, and it means Tuesday. So it's actually kind of weird because when you look my name up, there will be tons of Arabic music videos and songs, and
Wow.
not my profile.
Wow.
So it might be the reason, or it might be a reason to rebrand in the future, or maybe I will just swap. I can't fucking speak English, but like swap the A in my name with V, for example, like Sudden Death did back then, because it was like called Sudden Death with an U before, but then changed his name. Or Marauder, who was called Mastodon, because there was like this huge metal band called Mastodon. Or Ubur, I don't know if you know him, but he
Yeah.
was like called, before his alias Uber, he was like Uber, like the taxi or whatever thing
The
it
text.
is
Yeah.
in the, yeah, exactly. And imagine being called like this huge taxi company, like no one will find your music if you just Google Uber.
Mm.
So I hope that if I have some more label releases, I hope that it will be easier to find my name. But if that's not the case, I will probably have to rebrand, sadly.
I guess. Yeah. A rebrand doesn't hurt. And
Even just switching a letter would change a lot, because KHVMIS would be much easier to find than my current name, but it could kind of be still the same name. So I might go for that if I ever rebrand. I'm not sure yet.
And I also see like you have like this kind of this you have this like cross in your logo. It's kind of the eye in the canvas, and like is
Yeah.
there any like an influence to that?
No.
No?
I don't believe in any religion. I think
Mm.
it's literally just an aesthetic.
It just
And
looks cool
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. Like if
Yeah.
anyone is offended by that, I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
do you know Apostle Records?
Postal Records. I've heard of him.
Ace Aura, Ipsium, and producers like them are
Oh
releasing
yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
they followed me, and I was like, yeah, thanks for the follow and stuff. And in their bio they have like Christian bass music label, and
Oh
I
yeah.
actually wanted
Same.
to submit some music to them, but I was I was scared to ask them because of my logo. But yeah, I asked them, and they said they didn't mind. They might have not even noticed the logo. But yeah, it would be, imagine they want to actually release a song of mine, and then there is a Christian music label with a producer who has this St. Peter's cross in his username. But yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Maybe.
Yeah, if they ever let me release there, but time will reveal. I don't know anything about this yet. I haven't even submitted anything. It kind of feels weird. Like I asked them if I can submit anything, if they have some email. They replied with the email, but they haven't sent anything yet, because during that time all my free IDs and demos got chosen by other labels. So yeah. I unfortunately don't have anything that I can send them at the moment.
You got those clips. You can get some inspiration from some ideas.
Mm, that's hard. Like, I rarely get inspiration from just listening to music. It's when I actually seek for motivation or inspiration. It's like when I'm on a break, like when I'm literally on a producing break because I don't have any ideas or some kind of writer's block. Then I mostly, instead of making music, I listen to music. I listen to new releases and stuff like that. And yeah, then I focus much more on the music I listen to, and then I gather information about, not information, but inspiration from these songs. For example, my Margra collaboration. Um, I don't think I can show it anymore because it kind of will get a release. So, but yeah, I was listening to. I don't know if you know the song, but Leotrix made
Yeah.
a remix of "Music Sounds Better with You," and this song, like it's so fucking good, and it gave me so much motivation and ideas for another song. So I just went with it, and yeah, that kind of helped me to build a whole new job idea just to listening to this song for like 2 minutes. But sometimes I listen to hours of music and nothing happens in my brain that could be useful during a producing session. So it's kind of an real life RNG factor for me.
I think I mean if you're listen to like good songs, it's good songs. Yeah, you'll probably get some inspiration from that. But from bad songs, I mean, yeah,
I
just
mean,
wait,
even
wait.
some bad songs might have their good moments in them,
Yeah,
but I don't think that it must be necessarily good songs.
yeah,
I think I get more use of a song if I never heard it before. If it's entirely new to me, and then I was like, oh damn, this sounds cool. I haven't heard that before. Um, like I'm not saying that I want to copy songs, but it kind of gives me like inspiration to try to recreate the basis, and then I play with the vital instance, for example, and something completely new comes out, and then I just play some notes, and maybe there finally is a good melody in my DAW, and yeah, things keep developing from there. Like when I make a new project, I always start with sound designing and just playing around, and then maybe some bass notes starts forming, then there's maybe a four bar loop, and then things keep developing from there. Then I have like one drop, then the intro follows, maybe a bridge, and then I try to switch up. Well, when I make a second drop, I mostly copy and paste it, and then replace the existing bass notes with other instances of the same bass patch, but switched up, or I tweak some or I automate some effects
yeah.
to like for me it's hard to come up with a completely new second drop, but I think every producer has their struggles with finding a good second drop.
Well, I think I mean that I think Art Prophet recently did tweet like use like I guess like what matters is that you can sort of like carry the first drop into the second drop with some major with some variations in the sound design, something like
Mhm.
that, and it could and he says it could still be good. Yeah,
Definitely, definitely.
yeah,
A second drop doesn't always have to be completely different. On some songs, you could actually just copy and paste the whole drop, and it will still sound good. For example, um, how was it called? The song from Virtual Riot he put out in 2019. Let me check that real quick. Um, it was called "Lost It VIP." This song, he even I remember his tweet. he said like he is sorry for just copy and pasting the drop. Yeah, he literally said it on its own. But this intro, you
Wow.
don't. It's like some
Yeah.
techno kind of music with high pitched. Well, the same vocals as from the original, obviously, because it's a VIP, but
Yeah.
pitched up very high. Then there is like this bro step drop. Then there is some kind of rhythm switch, not exactly rhythm, but a bro step drop with the rhythm structure. Then it switches to fucking hybrid trap, and then there is this very beautiful garage break during the bridge, and then basically the same drop again. It's a whole 32 bar drop, I believe. It's the same as the first drop, but it just works because the song itself has so much variation in it, and the drops always keep you interested in listening to them.
Yeah, I mean, there's like already kind of with kind of technically the bro step drop kind of counts as a second drop. You can have like a first drop and then a middle drop that sounds unique and and of course the first drop can pretty much be the second or I guess the last drop. So I
Yeah, for
mean,
sure, for sure.
so many song structures that can be made. I mean,
That's
not
true.
really
That's
limited.
true for sure.
Yeah. So do you have like any favorite VSTs you use?
Um, I use a lot of stock VSTs from FL Studio,
Hmm.
and my absolutely favorite probably is Vocodex.
Yeah.
Uh, without this plugin or VST or whatever it is called, I don't even know actually. I don't know what I'm doing. Um, I literally wouldn't sound like what I sound like right now. Like Vocodex, it literally is essential for me.
Hmm.
Like it's so good if you focus on creating melodic basses. Some producers vocode their basses to chords or something like this, but I literally like I place my basses mostly as chords because I think I have more freedom doing this. But yeah, I vocodex, like I don't know what I did, but there is like some sort of preset in it that's some kind of a reverb preset, and I switched some things up by accident, and I don't even know how to explain it, but this preset that I changed is literally what I put on almost any bass I make because it fills out the whole thing. It gives some kind of more depth to the basses. You could also use this on hi-hats, for example, on vocals. It's like this whole plugin is so damn good. My music would probably suck ass without it,
Okay.
so I will definitely go for Vocodex as my favorite plugin or VST.
And do you use like Vocodex for your melodic rhythm stuff?
Yeah, constantly. Like the
Constantly.
first thing I do when designing a sound, like most of my sounds or basses are fucking boring, but then I put some like one OTT on them to crank it up, and then then I do the rest with vocodex basically. And even after um, using the vocodex, um, then I still do a lot of changes during in the patches. But yeah, vocodex is my go-to here for melodic dubstep or rhythm in general. But I think more melodic rhythm because melodic dubstep, I actually never made this before. Like the bro step dubstep kind of thing. I always made like this kind of rhythm thing. I never tried melodic dubstep before actually. Like color bass,
Color
the
bass.
typical stuff you would hear on
Yeah.
Rushdown records, for
Yeah.
example.
Mhm. I mean, I can see you like definitely if kind of rocking that style too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I want to keep building on it because, it looks like I was just hopping onto this bandwagon or trend of melodic rhythm, but I have been doing it or experimenting with it because before it was popular. But my music fucking sucked back then because I just started making it. So, well, there's new music um, from myself during that time when it started getting attention. It was like in 2019, 18 when Ace Aura released a lot of melodic dubstep and brostep and kind of even melodic rhythm stuff. But the closest thing to this future or melodic rhythm kind of music I have is my song We Chose to Fight, which actually still has really cool sound design, but the mastering compared to what I could do now and mixing is terrible. It is absolutely horrible. And I literally have a vocal sample during the bridge that isn't even in key because back then I didn't even really know how to change that. Like, I didn't know. I didn't even produce for half a year probably or a year. And yeah, I just decided to upload it. And it is still available on my page. And I'm not planning to delete it anytime soon. But yeah, compared to what I do now, it literally sucks ass. But the idea is still cool. If I wasn't such a lazy producer, I would have already made some kind of a remaster or VIP version of it. Maybe I'll do it this year or next year or whenever. I don't know yet, but I might do that.
Yeah, maybe maybe in the next 10 years. I don't know.
Anytime. But I actually wanted to make it happen, so you could be right with in the next 10 years. It
Yeah.
depends on how damn lazy I am.
I also wanted to talk about kind of fear of God, which sounds kind of interesting to me because I'm listening to it. It's kind of it sounds kind of different compared to the rest of your songs. 'Cause, has this
Fear of God. I actually hate this one. um,
hmm?
but yeah, I kind of guess. I get why you're telling me it sounds different than the other songs because I actually was experimenting with just making trap beats back then. And well, you can definitely hear it in the intro. It's basically just some kind of trap beat. And it says it got uploaded like 10 months ago, but it is an idea from 2019, I believe. So I just didn't put it out during all the time. But yeah, I started it with no real intention of finishing it, just experimenting with some kind of sounds and trying out trap beats and stuff like that. But then I took lessons from the producer of Flax or Flux. I don't know.
Flicks?
Not Flux, Flakz. He's still really underground, but he has 13,000 followers on SoundCloud. And this was the first time actually taking lessons from someone, and it helped me improve a ton. And yeah, you can even hear it in We Chose to Fear of God because he kind of reworked it. Like he fixed some EQing and sidechaining and stuff, and the drums are pretty much still punchier than my current drums. He did a really good job on this one. Like at this time of the year, oh no, it was Plasma Beam. This was the first song that I put on Spotify. But yeah, this was during April 2020 something, I believe, when I wanted to like focus on branding out and building a profile. And then I released like a lot of singles after that, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 singles on Spotify and one just for fun single as a free download on SoundCloud. And then I started like just posting clips and not one single full song, except the Get to You remix from Spaghetti for the compilation. If you missed it, remix competition at compilation.
You're listening to the Kult Podcast by DJs.
After our podcast here, I will actually work on one of my songs for the first time in like 2 weeks. I think I even sent it to you. Like it is Prism Flow. I don't know if you want to play it later on in the stream or if you want to edit it in. But yeah, I will keep working on this one today.
Yeah, I think it's on like one of your latest tracks on SoundCloud.
It actually is the latest track. I posted a 50-second clip a few days ago, and I uploaded another updated version for private purposes because I wanted to update the label.
Like, so do you want to like talk talk about what it is?
You mean the track?
Yeah, the flow. The
Prism Flow.
Prism Flow, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much my standard style. Like I'm hugely into melodic or future rhythm, and this is basically just me trying to improve my style. Yeah, I've been experimenting with melodic stuff. I think in 2019 I started with this shit, and I kind of kept going from there, and I started building onto this style during 2020, and I think now in 2021 I finally kind of found my own style. And yeah, I think Prism Flow is well, what I got so far at least is a very good representation of where I want my music to go.
Also, I really like the. I saw in like in SoundCloud you have like a clip titled like it's titled "Fucking Fummin." Kind of.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I still have that one online. Oh no, oh boy.
Yeah,
It's a clip.
Yeah, that
But-
kind of stood out to me, but because like I think I think there's like a sample you've used right there.
Yeah, it was like there is like a YouTube channel. The profile picture, the picture of fucking Human, like this album picture thing that's not an album picture, but you know what I mean. It's the women from the video, the voice I sampled, and I don't know if her YouTube channel still exists, and I don't remember her name, but you can find her stuff if you just Google Fumin or fucking Fumin or whatever. And she's like screaming around and stuff like that. And I decided to just sample that and layer it on the intro just for fun. The song, well, it is a clip, but the song never got finished. It's like only, I think, a 16-bar rhythm drop with this kind of intro. And I never touched it again back then. I uploaded it for some reason. But yeah, it actually will never be finished. Also because it's not the direction I wanna go anymore. I might actually take it down. Well, you know what? I'm gonna take it down right now actually, because I actually forgot. Well, I'm not gonna delete it, but I'm gonna make it private. If you like it, I will send you just send you the link of it.
Yeah.
So you can keep listening to it if you want.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, like I wanna like clear up my profile too, because if I get more label releases, I want my my SoundCloud profile to look clean. So I will actually, I even have a lo-fi beat from 2 years ago still online, which is produced absolutely horrible, but I decided to keep it online for some reason. So yeah, I might take this down too and some other stuff because yeah, it's not what I make anymore and it doesn't represent what I'm doing right now.
Actually, this brings up a good point. Like, I was kind of wondering, do you think for upcoming producers, or I guess producers who get more onto labels, should they keep their their stuff from the beginning of their beginning of their music, or should
It's I think it depends on a lot of factors, on a lot of different factors. Like I think as a beginning producer, you can just upload whatever you want to SoundCloud and maybe even ask for feedback and stuff like that. And join Discord servers, share your SoundCloud links and ask for feedback, whatever. Just play around for a while. Play around, grow your page out a bit, experiment, try finding your own style. And then when you kind of get a feel where you want your music to go, then you could start thinking about, do I really want these old songs of mine on my profile? Do these songs represent what I'm doing? Like, you can't do this anymore if you're a big producer who has released a lot of songs on labels and stuff like that. But as a small producer who gets no label deals and who is just starting out, you can upload and delete whatever you want. So just experiment, upload stuff, whatever you want. And when you have the feeling that there is some certain direction that you want to go, then build onto that and remove what you don't like from your profile and remove what simply doesn't sound like you anymore. That's how I'm gonna do it. And I'm not saying that anyone should do this, but I think this is just one way to, like, if a label checks you out or checks your music out, you wanna like present them your profile and make it as good as possible. Make it look as good as possible.
Well, I think at least for the most the 20 most recent tracks, maybe. I think if you have 100 tracks, they can't really scroll to the bottom and find a really shitty. So that's why it's not.
But it also depends on how much music you make. Like, compare some OGs, basically, like Spec Hattie, for example. He literally has almost 200 songs on his profile, and all his older projects, like from 2013, 12 and stuff, it literally does not sound like him. But he will never delete this because they officially got released. They are part of his career. Like, he already had his career back then. But when you're like me, who basically has no career yet, you can always feel free to delete all your stuff and no one will miss it, basically, because your music has like 100 clicks or views, whatever you want to call it. But most of his stuff, like even from 7 years ago, Mariposa has 100,000 plays, I Carambas or I Carambase, 150,000 plays. Like, why would he delete this? There are a lot of people who still enjoy it, so he might even enjoy it too. So, like, even that's on another point of mine where I kind of how is this word in English called? I gotta Google this really quick. When you actually like one of your old songs so much, but it doesn't sound like you anymore, you could also just keep it. For example, I made a song called The Future. It's not dubstep, it's not riddim, it's whatever. It's not even future bass. It's literally just like some kind of trap beat. with some synths I made, but I really enjoy the melody in it, and I don't think I will ever delete it off my profile, even if it does not represent myself anymore. On the other hand, it will not make my profile sound or look worse if I keep it online. So that's also a factor that you should keep in mind.
I think I mean producers who have been kind of making music for like several years now are kind of changed their sound design by a lot. I mean, so
Yeah, true. Sound design, style, or even the whole genre they are making. Like Skrillex is probably the best example. He went from a metal band to electronic music to now being still an electronic musician, but you don't hear much of him. But he also makes a lot of just trap beats and has a lot of success with it. Well, he makes trap beats. Like, that's not what I wanted to say, but he's making stuff with Kanye West now, like Ego Death, and I think it's a pretty good song, even though this is not usually what I listen to, but I still enjoy it actually. So there's always like, well, how do I say it? You can always make different kinds of music. You shouldn't be bound to just one genre, but I think you also should keep in mind that people will recognize you for something. Maybe you have one big song that got a lot of plays for maybe maybe for the idea or the cool sound design or whatever, and then you might think about I want to keep growing my profile, and you could add to this if you just build onto your song and do similar stuff that people enjoyed previously. Not saying that you should copy and recycle the same idea over and over again, but more like innovate the same idea and keep building on that. If you try to stay in the same niche, if that's an English word, I hope it's still English, but yeah.
kind of try out what what the kind of what the trend in music is too. You kind of
What do you mean exactly?
or I guess kind of stay or put out something like I guess relevant.
Yeah,
kind
exactly. Many people are saying like, yeah, everyone is doing melodic rhythm now. Everybody is hopping on this future rhythm trend. But I don't see this as a bad thing, because if more people do it, the more different ideas and sounds will appear basically. So there's more diversity to the thing. You don't need to listen to future rhythm as you as the listener choose to listen to it. So there is still a lot of dubstep, there's still a lot of rhythm and a lot of other genres that have been existing forever. But there's like just a lot of focus on melodic rhythm right now, mainly because like I don't think you want to blast Yasu by Bomber and Crobble 24/7 at home because it has no melody. Not saying that it is a bad song. I love this song, but bland rhythm will get boring if you just listen to it over and over again. But with some melodic influences, there is more to remember about it, and yeah, like there's just more like of an how do I say it? Like some kind of artistic. You can make more artistic choices when there are melodies in songs. I'm not saying that rhythm isn't artistic, but you have more freedom, I think, if you work with melodies. And as a listener, it's also more pleasant to have melodies in your songs. Even a completely bland rhythm song could have maybe a nice melodic intro for a nice switch up.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really have to be like a kind of MIDI or kind of notes going everywhere from from octave to octave, quarter notes or 16. It doesn't have to be
It doesn't have
complex.
to be. No, it doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to sound pleasant to the ears, and that's basically it. My songs are like, they all have a similar structure, but different sound design, different ideas basically, but still kind of the same structure. And yeah, like I'm just gonna name my song Oolacile for reference, if anyone who listens to the podcast wants to check it out. The drop has this futuristic rhythm flow structure kind of a thing, the first drop. And on my newest work in progress project, Prism Flow, I used the same flow, like the same note placement basically, but with other bass layers and sound design. So it kind of sounds similar, but it's still different and kind of an innovated version from my old idea, basically. So you don't always have to be Columbus and find something completely new and exclusive to you, even if it is good. Like, it just should sound pleasant to the ears. Basically, that's all that music needs to be. Music doesn't need to be science. I don't know shit about music theory. I don't know anything about it, and I still can make melodic rhythm. And I've seen people commenting a lot on my melodies that they like them. So you don't need to go to a music college to make melodies. It's all about your creativity.
And if you have like kind of the money for it, you can go. There's like this music school, the Fire. So the Fire Society, but other than that, it's not really any degrees or no college for that.
I didn't know that, and I haven't even heard about the Fire before. Def Fire. I hope I pronounce it right. Before,
Yeah.
but well, yeah. I just think that this kind of thing is not necessarily. I think it's more necessary to learn how to properly use a DAW. Like, it just needs to be executed well, and you need to find the correct and best ways and techniques to do so. And I think getting lessons will for sure help you out, but you can still learn anything on your own. But getting lessons will definitely fasten the progress or the process of learning this a lot. But as I said, it's not necessary to do so.
I kind of want to ask you if you're FL gang or Ableton gang.
FL Gang for sure.
Yeah.
I started with FL Studio, and I love FL Studio because it's just so user friendly and simple to use. However, I tried Ableton because I don't know if you know iFeature,
Oh yeah.
but well, I was in contact with him and around this time last year a lot, and he got me into Ableton actually, and he wanted me to learn it. But for me, I was used to FL Studio. Like, Ableton was for me a horrible experience, not because it is a bad DAW, but simply because I'm so used to using FL Studio. Like, there are some things that I don't get. Ableton is unnecessarily complicated to me because I've been using FL Studio before, but you have so many cool opportunities and things in in Ableton that you might not have in FL Studio. And I also like the layout of Ableton a lot more than FL Studio, but I will probably still be using FL Studio for the rest of my life because I'm just so comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And when we're already talking about DAWs, I don't think that any DAW is better than the other. I mean, there are some shit DAWs probably, but any DAW that you pay a decent amount of money for will probably be a good DAW. You just need to. It just needs to. The DAW needs to be easy to use for you. It must support your workflow basically. And if your workflow is good, you will be you will have a lot of fun making music. It will not be frustrating to make music if you like your DAW, basically.
Yeah, and I think even kind of getting to know the keyboard shortcuts to
Oh yes.
the tools.
Oh yes. The keyboard shortcuts. Like I'm such a noob when it comes to keyboard shortcuts. There are still some things that I haven't known after almost 3 years of making music. And some of my other producer friends, they were shocked because I didn't know the simplest things. Like in FL Studio on these mixer channels, when you add an EQ or OTT, for example, I literally didn't know that you could switch the placement of an EQ and an OTT, for example, just by turning the mouse wheel. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
useful feature.
yeah, I literally didn't know that, and I always tended to fucking delete the whole EQ and replace it with the OTT when I needed to replace them. And when I found out that you could just spin your mouse wheel and replace it like this, I felt so goddamn stupid. Like, yeah, as you said, please, everyone who listens to this should learn the goddamn keyboard shortcuts. Also, because this will drastically increase your workflow.
Yeah. Yeah, and also you can really also duplicate the effects from one channel to another channel with kind of
Yeah.
dragging the
I kind of do not the same since I mean I'm using this on synths a lot, but this is really useful when I make a second job. Like I simply just copy and paste the whole instance and just go from there. I mean the project will look messy if you have like 30 fucking different instances of Vital, but it's just quick and easy to do.
Gather around, ladies and gentlemen. It's story time.
like there hasn't been any moments of of a sound surprising you, like fat bass or
Not a sound actually, but the thing when I was talking about vocodecs earlier, like this accident when I accidentally put on some kind of reverb preset, and when I twitched some of the settings and it sounded like how do I describe this at best? Like imagine you have one bass sound and you put on this preset I made by accident, and it has some sort of reverb, but with the same sound layered on top and higher pitched up and some kind of lower pitch at the same time. And I wish I could show this somehow, but I don't think this is possible. But yeah, this was probably my happiest accident ever because thanks to this, my music sounds how it sounds at the time, at the moment. Because imagine if I actually should make a backup, but if my PC literally just explodes, I would never be able to recreate this kind of patch that I made before. I wouldn't be able to do it. I have no idea how I made this patch. I just saved it and I have been using it on almost every bass I make, almost every melodic bass, because on bass growls or subs it wouldn't sound good if you have some kind of reverb on them. Well, reverb on growls maybe, but yeah, definitely not on subs.
and I mean must I kind of did that with the put the reverb on the sub with one of his tracks.
What, for real? What? Which one?
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. But it's like,
Well, if I had to guess, I would say Hellburst maybe,
yeah, I think
because this one was really weird but cool in some way. But honestly, reverb on a sub, I have
yeah,
no idea how this would
it
work.
was Hellburst.
For sure. Oh
Yeah.
boy. It had some weird like moments, like the main bass kind of has like it's hard to describe, but it feels so stereo, and it was like really I had to get used to this kind of drop, like to this thing. But I guess this is what you call experimenting with shit. Everyone says don't do it, it will sound like shit. But well, in Hellburst it turned out to be pretty good if you get used to it.
Yeah. And I think even Naughty Step was kind of, when he reacted to it, he was kind of, I mean, surprised by it. I mean, but he was kind of, maybe, it's not your usual cup of tea for, for the dubstep scene.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a really unique release of him, and I also didn't expect him to put something out like this. It was a surprise for me too.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. Unless you want to say anything like, is there anything in the future you're going to put out? Anything new in this year to expect?
Thanks for having me. Like I had a lot of fun today,
Yeah.
and yeah, for the future, I honestly don't know. I think the next thing that you could hear from me is a compilation from a certain label that might get put out in April, I believe. But I don't think I will release any new music until then, unfortunately. But I can already say there will be something around a second song around that time. There will be another release in early summer. And I will also release an EP in September. And I haven't had any more information from the other labels about release dates. But yeah, once the just really starts going, I think there will be some kind of constant flow of music output of mine, I could say, basically. So I wish or I hope that anyone who listens to this podcast enjoyed it and maybe even could learn something from me. So
Yeah.
thanks for having me today, man.
Yeah, sure. But thanks, guys, for tuning into the Kult podcast, episode 9 with Khamis, and I guess we'll see you for episode 10. And until then, peace.
Hello, thank you for watching another video of the Savant 2.0 channel.
If you want to see more content, click here or here.
Don't forget to subscribe for the memes. Bye bye.
See ya.
Goodbye.